Now, we all use apps on our phone for a variety of daily tasks. Among them is also online banking, where one mistake could put you at risk and even make you lose your hard-earned money. It therefore becomes imperative in the background of this data leak scandal to understand how banking apps work and what all data they collect from you. Like other apps, banking apps also ask users for certain permissions, and only when you grant those permissions do you get access to the app. But the fact is that most users give permissions to the app makers without even taking a look at what all the developers are asking for. In other words, many users do not know how the app makers are intending to use their data. So, for example, if you're using a banking app on your phone, here are a few things to keep in mind. In a lot of cases, the data collected by banking apps is used to understand users' demographics, interests, and behavior. For instance, your transaction behavior can tell a lot about your personality and spending habits. And once your tastes and preferences have been determined, the same data can be used for targeted marketing campaigns. And most importantly, the data gathered is also shared with third parties, subsidiaries, parent companies, and agents of the companies. Let's bring in Sheel Sharma, former Chief General Manager of the Oriental Bank of Commerce, joining us on the broadcast from New Delhi. Thanks very much, Sheel, for speaking with us. This, of course, opens up a plethora of questions over privacy, but in relation to that, a lot of our hard-earned money is also at stake. I say that because banking applications, of course, form a majority of the applications that are used by users on a daily basis. What, to your mind, is the immediate concern here when it comes to the banking sector?
In fact, in banks, there are online transactions with regard to net banking, then usage of debit card and ATM transactions. And when these are handled, these transactions are handled, there are certain security parameters which are educated to the user. Users are required to work on those security measures. So I don't think online transactions are that bad. Online transactions and data breach or data selling, etc., which perhaps the companies have resorted to, are two different aspects of the story. So when I use my net banking, I create my ID. I think my account already exists with the bank, so database already have my details. But I create my ID. Then when I use net banking, I have to go to the secured site created by the bank for online transaction, right. And then my ID is there. Then a screen pops up where a pre put up certain image and all that is shown to me. That gives me the knowledge that this is my own site and this image was put up by me. So then I enter my password, and then an OTP is also sent to me.
Sure.
So all these are measures which are double or triple authentication, you can call it, make the online transaction secure.
What are the measures that these banking companies or even users can resort to plug some of the loopholes which many have spoken about?
No, see, as regard data is concerned, data is already there with the banking companies. Now, data can be two-way handed over to outsiders, externals. One is by the internal people, that is a breach of trust. Now, it is, if somebody from within is handing over the data, nobody can stop it. But otherwise, breaching the security layers and firewalls and reaching to the database and then culling out the data from the database is a very, very uphill task rather. Okay. So far I have not come across any such breach, because right. There are, when we do online transaction, the transaction does not hit the a proper database for the where my account exists does not hit that. Net banking server is separate. Then there is a handshake between the real database and the net banking server. So handover and takeover of that data and transaction take place. So
all right. So that's a strong reassurance coming in from a former banker. We're going to leave it there for the moment. Sheel Sharma, appreciate very much for joining us on the broadcast with those perspectives.